You don't have to spend a ton of money to get an awesome watch. Let's talk about cheap watches that are great. Before we go any further, we should probably clarify the term cheap is a pretty relative thing to say. Like, a cheap house is a very different price than a cheap sweater. So I'm going to keep this list £1,000 or $1,200 USD and under, but I'd prefer to keep it lower. I'd prefer to keep it around £500 and under. Number 1, Casio Vintage models. So I wanted to start this list here for 2 reasons. 1, this is based in my personal experience. My most complimented watch is my Casio A158. And 2, it's a friendly reminder you don't have to spend a small fortune to have an interesting watch that makes people happy. The Casio Vintage models work on a few different levels, but if I had to boil it down, it's really just mass appeal. Whether you were born in the 1970s or 2000s, these probably feel familiar and nostalgic. They work for men and women alike, and come in at a pretty attainable price. Honestly, and weirdly, the cheaper you go with Casio, the more likely people are to notice your watch and love it, and probably give you a compliment. If you wear out a Casio calculator watch, people will notice it and they'll love it. Moving on to Baltic and the MR01. This is one of those watches that looks more expensive than it is, and they just got everything right with this one. The 36mm case is refined and compact, 20mm between the lugs, so it is easy to change out the strap. The dial has a grained effect and applied numerals, but I think the thing that made this watch is the movement choice. Powered by the automatic Hangzhou caliber 5000A, the micro rotor keeps the thickness down to 9.9mm. The entire package is fantastic. Every decision was the right one. Number 3, Longines. Longines is one of the most important watch brands, offering classic, tasteful sensibilities at a more achievable price point than most of Switzerland. There's a few Longines models I find eye-catching, the Conquest, Spirit, but for the purpose of this video, I want to highlight the Dolce Vita. I think shape watches in general are very in at the moment, but beyond that, there are always watches people want to know more about, particularly women. It's weird how many women that I know who aren't into watches have a square or rectangular watch or want one. For women, Longines, Dolce Vita, but for men who want the same shape, I'd actually say Frederique Constant, Carré, small seconds. It's a larger size, still quartz, and also cheaper than the Longines. While we're on Frederique Constant, let's talk about this. So this is the Monita Moonface in stainless steel. I could put most of the Frederique Constant catalog on here. They're so good. I'm going to show self-control. Their design sensibilities are so refined. Look at these. And I really can't think of many brands offering the same value for money as they are. The reason I chose this one specifically is because it reminds me a lot of the first watch I ever noticed on someone and really loved. It was a Moonface, and I had never seen that complication before. This was back before I was into watches, and I thought the whole idea of tracking the moon with your watch was so cool and it looked so beautiful. They've kept this very classical 37mm case diameter, 7.65mm thickness, very thin, which is made possible through a quartz movement. Some people really don't like quartz. You know, it's a two-hander. You're not going to notice, except for you don't have to set it, which is awesome. If you were wearing this around non-watch people, this would catch their eye. Non-watch people, watch people as well. All people with eyeballs will see this and find it pleasing to the eye. Okay, next watch, the Q Timex GMT, and this is actually the watch that inspired this video. My next door neighbor wears a Q Timex GMT. When I first noticed him wearing it, my first thought was, that looks great. Then immediately my next thought was, I need to buy one too. So I did. Capitalism has me in a stranglehold. It's just a fun watch to wear. Look at it. Great proportions. So this has a 38mm case diameter, useful functionality with the ability to track multiple time zones, and the red-blue aluminum bezel is unbeatable. I love the 1970s style bracelet. It just looks good. This retails for £210, which isn't nothing, but it's a totally fine price tag for how awesome this watch is. I was trying to decide where to go next with this one. I was going to say the Orient Bambino, a regular fixture on lists like this, but I wanted to throw something else into the mix. And I also think these would get more compliments out and about. That's just me speculating, but I think they would. And on top of that, these are wild value propositions. So Kuoe is a very new brand, established in Kyoto, Japan in 2020. Once again, pretty classic design, but a lot of customization is available. So they have base models like this, but you can really mix up the dials and metals, indices, you name it. I'm pretty boring, so numerals and blued hands is wild enough for me. Hand-wound movement with the Citizen Miyota, caliber 82 S5, 50 meters of water resistance. You're getting a lot for the £500 price point. Okay, I know the Tissot PRX isn't the most original choice, but it's on here because, well, it looks more expensive than it is, it over-delivers on the wearing experience, and it probably will get you compliments. My nephew just bought a Quartz PRX, and when I saw him wearing it, my eye immediately went to his wrist, and I thought, man, that watch looks great. So the Quartz variations feature a sunburst dial, and the mechanical have a waffle effect, integrated bracelet, available in stainless steel and titanium, 40mm, 38mm, and 35mm. It's a really good looking watch. If I was going to buy one, I'd be going ice blue 35mm automatic, but I know the price is a bit punchy. The Quartz variations retail for £335 and will deliver enjoyment far beyond that price tag. I'm in a funny place with Swatch. I think they're kind of overpriced for what they are, but I have this weird soft spot for them, but they are definitely kind of overpriced. But I like them and they will get compliments, and for some reason getting compliments is a weird side quest of this video. What am I doing? A few years ago, they made some Simpsons collab watches. I bought one for my husband, and like every good gift, I wear it more. But every time I wear this, someone notices it, someone compliments it. It just makes people happy. I think that's the key to these watches. If it's something that people see and it makes them happy or it makes them feel curious, they're going to want to tell you and say that they like it. And it creates this awesome positive feedback loop. I also hate to say it, but the Moon Swatch has the same effect. They are colorful and goofy, and I think because it received mainstream attention, a lot of people know it when they see it. The Seiko Presage might be my favorite watch in their current catalog. This is kind of the sweet spot. It feels like the bridge between Seiko and Grand Seiko. It looks a lot more expensive than it is, wide-reaching aesthetic choices, a good daily wear, interesting dial, and date complication. These are still mechanical, powered by the 4R35, and retail price starts around £350, and most sit below £500. It's just a great watch. 10 out of 10 if I saw someone wearing this out in the wild, I would compliment the wearer. Yeah, it's fantastic. I love it. I think it's time that I buck up and buy one of these. Or I wonder if Seiko would ever send me one to review. Oh. But anyways, guys, those are the 6 watches that are cheap and awesome, but then somehow turned into watches that will get you compliments. I don't know what I did there. I'd love to know in the comments if there's a watch that you wear that always gets compliments. I'm really curious. I'll see you down there. Thank you so much for your viewership. And now, Pope tier patrons, get their names on the screen. Ow! There's a little heater that's under my desk, and I just accidentally touched it. It's quite warm. Oh, but it's so cold in my garage. Anyways, Pope tier patrons, thank you so much for sponsoring my weird little channel. You guys are paying the heating bills in the garage, so thank you. I said it jokingly, but you actually are. You guys keep this weird little channel going. Thank you to all tiers of patrons, but this part of the video is for the highest tier. Thank you so much, and I hope you guys keep enjoying the content. Okay, bye.